Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. It was
Hare
short and
Krishna.
sweet. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjala Chalakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swapadatikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopeshu Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpadarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patidanan Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschadade Satarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vatsadi Gauravakta Vrinda. Come on everybody. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Rama Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare. Hare Krishna, one of the beautiful chapters talking about Krishna's incarnation. So I will be the speaker for the day. So we have already seen, I think, three sessions are over. So I think I did the week prior. So it's almost in continuation. What did we actually understand? If you can even summarize the entire chapter, I'm good to go. What did we see so far?
We saw several avatars.
Very nice. We saw several avatars and we will continue to see several avatars, right? So that's the main thing. So actually, specifically, can anyone tell me how many, approximately how many number or how many types or not even types, numbers we saw?
25, Mataji.
Perfect. Precisely 25, right? And what are the broad six categorization of these avatars? What are the broad categories where these avatars fit into?
Lila avatar, yeah, Guna avatar,
Yes, Haribol.
and
Manvantara Avatara, Purusha Avatara,
Manvantara.
Satyavesha Avatara, Yuga Avatara.
Yuga
Excellent.
avatar.
So 6 categories of avatars, right? And that talks about the various activities of the Lord. So why is Krishna taking so many avatars? What is the main core purpose of all these avatars?
To do away with evil and to rescue all his devotees.
Very true. So that is what our sloka is, right? Paritranaya
And to
sadhunam
bring back dharma, to bring back, regain dharma.
Samsthanataya sambhavami yuge yuge. Perfect. This is fine. So this is one reason. But why so many avatars? You can just see Krishna is present as Paramatma in the heart, right? So just like how we go walking, you can take a walk outside the heart of the bad person. But why so many avatars? Why should you do all that? Can't he stand there and create a heart attack for Kamsa, Hiranyakashipu?
Wanted to give the devotees the credit of mitigating
The reassurance and the experience.
Very nice. Reassurance, almost close answer. Reassurance, mitigation. Okay. So this is like two things, right? So any other answers? Let's all keep it interactive because the session becomes more interesting if we start guessing a lot of options. Because then we'll start really understanding why Krishna is here. Now, if he's going to take so many avatars, right? Now he's taking Varaha, Kurma, Matsya and all that. There will also be people who will be making fun of Krishna, right? I mean, people who are, will be thinking, hey, he's coming like a pig. He's coming as a fish. He's coming as a girl. Isn't it? It's very funny. Won't people? So isn't Krishna giving scope for all this with having so many types of incarnations and leela? Right? There will people be mocking also, right? So doesn't it give scope for all this? Isn't that relevant?
These are situation. These are situation based also. They are not
Ah.
exactly. So,
Agreed.
so therefore, it is. Therefore, it is not that he's showing off something. It is just that
Ah.
based on the situation to assure his devotees, he's creating these kind of scenarios. That is the
So
understanding.
all the answers are correct. If you go for a deeper meaning, actually, it's for two things. One is while people and non-devotees or atheists will continue to criticize, what happens is Krishna is really not bothered. Just like us, right? We don't really care about some distant neighbor yelling. We are more concerned about our family members yelling. We are never bothered about a fight in the next office. We are concerned if the fight is from our boss scolding us. So the same reason applies to Krishna also, right? So all of them, for him, he is equal. Samoham sarva bhuteshu. Name dvesho na priya. So that's why he's uniformly creating sun, moon and all. This is like clearly what he is telling on the face. But he also does something under the table, right? There's under the table transaction, right? He may tell, no, I won't take money, but give. But he's also telling, but if he is my devotee, rules apply differently. So therefore, Krishna is basically interested in what is called the devotees, right? So whatever he is doing, he is coming to the earth. If we first remember, those three reasons what Kusha Mataji told us, right? His main reason is trying to get back people, good people, mode of goodness, right? So his entire idea and focus is for his devotees to start with. Now, because why is this? Because remember, many classes before I was telling two laws which apply, right? Law of matter, right? Or law of Maya. It applies universally to everybody. But that is what he says. It's uniform. I am not inside. I'm inside out. I am not directly involved in all this. So he says, Maya is my in charge, right? She will be my power of attorney. She will take over the earth. So therefore, law of Maya is applicable. You can use law of matter, law of Maya, law of material creation, whatever Maya name you want to use. But there's also another law called law of mercy, which is a special law, right? How they say special governing body, where Krishna says, I will directly oversee this. So that particular law is called the law of mercy, which Krishna runs. So mainly his interest of all these avatars is for his life or for his devotees, which is for law of mercy. So in this, now you may ask, devotees anyway understand, like how Prabhu was telling, situation warranted him to take various avatars, fine, but why should the situation itself is Krishna, right? Why would a situation be created? Simple. If many of us go for or used to go for movies, right? So some of them like love movie, romance, or some of them like martial arts. I'm not a movie freak, but if there is a movie, I would prefer a martial arts, right? Or somebody would like whatever, right? Adventure and all that. So let's take love. It's easy to tell. The love concept is very simple, right? The boy will give one flower to the girl, tell thank you, I love you, and the end. But if the movie will get over in 1 minute, why there is two songs, two rain, all the dresses and all, especially if anybody watches Telugu movie, you know how much of money is invested in that. Because you want all rasas, right? Sorrow, sadness, fear, thrill. Same way, Krishna wants to entertain his devotees with all rasas. All variegatedness. That is why he is bringing. See, we know the hero. In every movie, we know the hero is going to win, right? But still, there is tension. Like that, Krishna, every time everybody knows, even the demigods know he's going to win. But still, he wants to create so much of tension, right? Whether he comes as Narsimha for 48 minutes or as Rama in, Treta Yuga, where he creates so much of issue, there is so much of trauma, he's separated from his wife, though non-devotees will give various reasons. They will even come back and tell, don't name the person Sita, because that will create pain. But devotees do understand Ram, Sita, Ram never get separated, right? They are always there. And that's a pastime which he played to tell that for a higher cause, what all one has to do. Now coming back to next Krishna, Krishna calls himself, hey, I am Lord. Okay. But this so-called Lord is also scared of, Mama, scared of Papa, scared of even Big Balaram, the brother, right? All this he comes and shows. So basically we start enjoying, right? So everybody can relate. So all these pastimes is like a gift Krishna wants to give, a big movie play, thrill, adventure, emotion, fight, all of this are brought in picture. So coming back to the main story, now the whole incarnations are happening in various yugas. Obviously, different types of people is addressing, different moods of people is addressing, and for the various type and mood of people, they will like a particular rasa mood, whichever you like. Right? If you like adventure or martial arts, like I was telling, he will come and show his lovely, beautiful pastime of Narasimha Avatar. If you want, somebody wants rasa, he will show rasa dance, right? Full of love, romance, and all that. If he needs family politics, then he will see Govardhan Leela. No. We all have this experience. No, we will plan something. They will come and tell, no, this is not agreed. So he says, no, we will not do Indra Puja. We will do Govardhan. There is a huge calamity. We will all be able to relate. See, we also had the same problem in the house. They are not listening to us. So all these things he wants to give to the devotees. And the non-devotees anyway will never appreciate anything, right? And he's not really worried about it because law of Maya is going to take care. So avajananti mamura manusham karma ashta parabhava majanando mama botha maheshwara. So even if he comes as Krishna, nobody is going to believe. And even though he came and told I am God, still people don't believe. So why would he put efforts for any of this, right? With this particular chapter, that is Canto 2, chapter 7 has 53 verses, and 1 to 39 are the various avatars. I think we saw up to 35 avatars in Pran Prabhu's class, and we will continue the balance 3 avatars. And from 26 to 35, which we saw from, this is another subdivision. So basically one unit we sort of covered talks about his various activities and avatars, right? So the next portion of it, which 3-4 in between, which is the connecting phase, and from 40 to 46, it talks about not able to understand Krishna without mercy. So that is why he's called Achinta. It's very difficult to understand. Even Bhagavad Gita, when we read Bhagavad Gita, or if we have read Bhagavad Gita, which I had a chance to read on our own, we won't understand. When do we start understanding? Is only when we start understanding Krishna by a higher cause. That is, when we talk higher cause, it is only by understanding Krishna through the mood of love. Right? So who can really understand Krishna? His mercies are so many, right? I mean, his love, his leela, so much, right? And people, and this will come up in the coming verse. Even it's easy to count the atoms, but not. So there is one person who's assigned this task to speak about the leelas. Who is this person? Who's even that person is not able to describe. He's the one who knows the maximum glories of Lord. There is only one person, like power of authority,
Narada or Brahma?
Narada, Brahma also, but someone is even more higher. Like in Bhagavad Gita, we have 3 sessions, right? Middle is Bhakti Yoga. First one is what? First 6 chapters is
Sankhya.
Bhagavad Gita. Last 6. First 6 is karma. The last 6 is what you're talking about. Is the Jnana Yoga, the Sankhya philosophy. Sankhya will get mixed in between, of course, but largely first 6 is karma, last 6 is Jnana, middle is Bhakti. Why is Bhakti kept in the middle? There is an analogy which is given.
It's the most secret knowledge, isn't it?
Very nice. Most secret knowledge. And also one more thing. It's also considered as a jewel. Right? One is it's like a jewel. Upper jewel box, lower jewel box. A costly jewel is kept, right? It's very precious. Same way.
Heart of everything.
Yeah, and or the most tasty stuff, like the sandwich is kept in between. Taking the analogy of the jewel, same with this, the glories of Krishna is jewel. Whatever is told by everyone, Brahma, Narada, including all of us, we will glorify only to some extent. But this particular jewel, see, normally jewel we'll give to someone who's
Radha?
very...
Is it Radha? Radharani?
No, Radharani also knows the heart of Krishna, but the jewel
I
is
think
precious.
Vasudeva.
Vyasa is an incarnation. So
Okay.
he speaks about it, but the jewel is preciously kept. And someone is trying to glorify even with so many mouths, but not able to do.
Sukadev?
So many mouths. Who's got so many mouths? This will come in
Anantashesha.
Anantashesha, Haribol. Adishesha, Anantashesha, both right. Same. That is what, in fact, is coming in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Very clearly, the beauty of this will be reflecting in Chaitanya Bhagavat. Chaitanya Charitamrita is the one which is translated. Chaitanya Bhagavat, do you know who wrote Chaitanya Bhagavat?
Vrindavan Das Thakur. Mataji.
Haribol, very nice. Vrindavan Das Thakur. And who is Vrindavan Das Thakur? Incarnation of Vyasadeva. So
Vyasadeva.
Vyasadeva, very nice. So Vrindavan Das Thakur, he clearly explains about the fact that Anantashesh, right, even with his 1,000 mouth, and it comes in Bhagavatam in the later chapters, is not able to appreciate Krishna glories because he is going on. But that doesn't mean with one mouth what I do. Should I stop glorifying? Should we or we should not? We should continue. Should we glorify or not?
We
Yes or
should
no?
glorify. We should glorify.
Why? Why should we glorify? Why is Krishna asking, glorify me, glorify me? Why should we glorify?
Because that is the truth and we must spread the truth.
Okay, that is one, which is very nice answer. That is the truth, so I should spread the truth. Point, fine. So I will spread the truth so that everybody else will know. What is in it for me? We are in Kali Yuga. I would like to know what is my benefit. What do I get out of it?
Purification.
Excellent answer. Purification. I am glorifying for my own purification. That is why, though someone like me will directly start off with the class Om Tat Sat is max I tell. But actually, if you see some of the devotees, they will always say that this particular session I'm giving for my own purification, which is a fact. Because the more you talk about Krishna, of course, I've never thought so much. But having said that, whether you think or not, just like a medicine acts, automatically, the more you glorify Krishna, the more you do, the Archa Vigraha, the more you visit the temples, the more you do Tirtha Yatra, all of this is for our own purification. No doubt the bumper offer is what Usha Mataji told. When you start telling people, yes, Ya idam paramam guyam mat bhaktesh abhidashasi bhaktinmayi parakritva hivame vaishyasya samshaya. Very sure that Krishna is telling that I love you. If you're spreading, all your lila, all these violence will become love story. Right? So that is something which he is actually talking about. So now let's dive deep into it and try and understand what Krishna is trying to talk. Right? Usha Mataji, can you share? I think we should start from the 36th verse, if I'm right. Can someone start reading the 36th verse?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Kale namilita avam shandranam
Kalena
Kalena
Nrinam
stokayusham swanigamo bhatadhuraparaha
Stokayusham
Ayusham
Swanigam
Swanigama
Puraha
Araha
avihitastva anuyugam sahi sattva vatamya
Avitas
Anuyugam
Anuyukam
Sahi
Sahi Satya
Sattvatyam
vedadhumam vitapasho vibhajnyasyati sma
Vedadrumam Vitapasho Vibhajyati Sma.
Bhajiyastisma.
Translation. The Lord himself in his incarnation as the son of Satyavati, Vyasadeva, will consider his comprehension of the Vedic literature to be very difficult for the less intelligent person with short life. And thus he will divide the tree of Vedic knowledge into different branches according to the circumstances of the particular age. Continue with the purport, Mataji.
Just 1 second. Thank you, Mataji. No, this is fine, Mataji. So basically, we are talking about Vyasadeva, right? Incarnation. Born to whom? Born to whom? Hare Krishna. Satyavati and
Parashara Muni.
Parashar.
right. Yeah. So now Vyasa is writing many shlokas. Why is he writing in Kali Yuga? Do you remember that shloka? Which we all studied, first canto, I think first chapter, 10th verse. Prainalpaisha Sabde Kalo Asmin Yuge Jana Manda Sumanda Matayo Manda Bhagyayi Upatrita. See, after the exam, we are forgetting. We should revisit this. So, Prayan Alpaisha, the Kali Yuga age is Alpaisha. Before we get into Kali Yuga age, one question to you all. Who is Vyasa?
Krishna's incarnation.
The incarnation of
Right. So
Jesus.
literally, very nice. Krishna's incarnation, literally incarnation. Born to Satyavati and Parasara Muni, you all told me this. Now that he is born to Parasara Muni and Satyavati, Parasara Muni is very, very, very elevated. Right? In fact, anyone knows how did Parasara Muni get jnana from? From where did he get knowledge? He downloaded it to the Vyasa. Right? But where did he get knowledge from?
Brahma himself.
Close, but not really.
He
There is a discipline succession which we are
is
studying.
spiritual master.
Yeah, spiritual master, of course, but from where? There is a discipline succession which is
Narada
there.
Muni.
Keep guessing. No, keep guessing, seriously. Because this is a discipline succession which we probably will be reading later. It will come in the 3rd canto, 8th chapter. Why I'm bringing this in is because we are going to talk about Lord Sankarshana in the coming up verse. So Lord Sankarshana, right, Ananta Shesha, who is none other than Balaram expansion. Actually, what happens is this Sanat Kumara, you know, these small boys who go around up and down. So these Sanat Kumaras actually are meditating, so are going here and there, walking here and there, and they are, you know, not even getting into Jaya Vijaya story. They are very inquisitive and they want to know, as usual, about Vasudeva. We all know about Vasudeva. I told you who is the person who's very, very close to Vasudeva.
Balram.
Balram, right? So obviously they are going to the deep inside sea, underground, and they are meeting. And in the bottom of the ocean, obviously Vasudeva is in the sign of Dosh, right? So obviously they are meeting Lord Sankarsana, right? So what happens is Sankarsana, both of them are very deep sleep. Sankarsana, why? Because Sankarsana is not sleeping, he's meditating on the Supreme Lord. At that time, what happens is they are asking this theory class. They tell us, please tell us about this. So the 4 Kumaras, obviously headed by Dash. Whom? Headed by? 4 Kumaras are headed by whom?
Sanat Kumar only, no?
Very nice. Sanat Kumara, right? So Lord Sankarsana with his 1,000 heads, right? He starts glorifying. And I wanted to bring this connect because it's so relevant. Now, Sankarsana is speaking the purport. This is one more line, discipline succession. Srimad Bhagavatam to all the 4 called great sage, though they are small, little tiny ones. All of them, they spoke, right? And they, in fact, spoke the same information, right? Back to Sankyayana Muni. This name I did not heard too often, but how it goes, I just thought I'll tell for the sake of it. It's Sankyayana Muni here. So basically, Sankarshana, all SSR. From there, Sanat Kumara. From Sanat Kumaras, the information goes to Sankyayana Muni, right? So till this, okay, only he there. From here, it so happened that Parashara Muni and Brihaspati both have heard. When Sankyayana was talking among very transcendentalists, these two also heard. So Parashara Muni, his spiritual master line comes from Sankarshana. So it is as potent as Krishna. In fact, they say hearing from the devotee's mouth is even more potent, right? So this is how the lineage of Parashara Muni goes on. Now Parashara Muni, coming back to it, such a person, very exalted, great stage. Anyone has a doubt about this? No one has a doubt, no? We are very clear.
No,
Parashara,
Yes.
Right? Very exalted. Then why did he go after a fisher girl and marry her? I never have said it, but deep in my heart, I used to think, why of all girls Satyavati? We thought, no, why did he go after one fisher girl?
I read a story, Mataji, how it happened,
Please go ahead.
but I'm
Yes,
not
go.
sure how close it is.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
They said that Parashar Muni is also the father of the modern astrology. So he knew the star's position very well. And when he saw the star's position was in a state where Avatar could be born, he picked up the nearest one available, which was Satyavati. And that's how Vedavyasa was born. That is what I read, Mataji.
Okay, I
I'm not
didn't.
sure how correct.
Okay, almost close, but I don't know the exact thing of the story. But I'll tell you the Shastric story which I've heard. So, what is this story is, which is in our parampara. So, basically, every time there is phone, no, like we have audio transcription like that, there is this Akashvani. So, when Parashara Muni was there, from Akashvani, he heard telling that Lord Vyasadev, that is Avatar, is going to come through you. You should be instrumental, and it will be born between you and the fisher girl. And obviously, there are certain conditions. The moment you marry her, she will still continue to be a celibate, and she will, she will obviously nobody will be able to see all. And she, even though she's a fisher girl, she will become very purified. Normally fisher girls will have that smell, that fish smell will be there. And after you meet her, then automatically she will start smelling very good. All this they will tell. So Parashara Muni, actually, if you see, he will act. So the reason why I'm telling you is some of these great renunciates, while we may break our head thinking, why are they into relationship? Is also because for a higher cause. Can someone tell me those who have thought of taking celibacy? That is renunciation. Renunciation is giving up everything, right? But for a higher cause, some of them have given up renunciation. Can anyone think of an example of someone who's given up renunciation itself for the sake of a higher cause?
Correct, Mataji. Priyavrata Maharaj.
Excellent example, Premvrata. Premvrata is, why don't you tell the story of Premvrata, Master, so everybody will know.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sorry Mataji. Difficult for me to tell.
Oh, no problem. So Premvrata is one, does anyone know Premvrata? Who's Premvrata? All the stories are getting
Swayambhuva Manu Mataji.
very nice. Swayambhuva Manu, right? So Swayambhuva Manu has 5 children. Of the 5 children, 3 are girls. We all know Devayuti, Prasuti, I know Ankuti. I'm not going to touch that because Devayuti, 3rd canto, it will come, right? We know Kashyapa Muni, that story will go. Kapila Muni is going to come. That will come to, Kardama Muni. Kardama Muni story will come between Kardama Muni and Devayuti. You know who's going to be born? Kapila. So we will leave that. We will also, Akuti and Prasuti, 4th canto, 5th canto. Leave the girls part. Among the boys, we know who's the hero, who's the son.
Uttanapada.
Uttanapada. Uttanapada, after Uttanapada ruled, his son Dhruva. We all know great Dhruva's ruling. After all that, he goes back to Vaikunta. We know, right? The pole star, he goes and settles in Vaikunta. Now, the lineage is over. What is the main purpose? To actually do, right? So, Narada is a made Mahajan. Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumaro Kumaro Janako Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumaro Kapilo, thank you. Kumaro Kapilo Manu Prahalado Janako Bhishmo Bali Vyasa Kirvayam. Right? So Kumaro Kapilo. So now in this itself you see when you're telling Swayambhu Manu is there. Narada is there. Right? Now, Swayambhu Narada, 2 people are there. Now, Swayambhu Manu wants a son back for progeny. Narada is told, don't go, stay here. Now there is conflict, right? 2 Mahajans are talking 2 different versions. Finally, what will do? Priyamvata is going and sitting telling, okay, I will do sannyasi only, leave me. I don't want this material world. I'm happy here. Now what happens is Brahma himself comes. Remember, he is also there. Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumaro, Kapilo, Manu, Prahalado, Janako, Bhishmo, Bali, Bhaya, Sakir, 3rd Mahajan is also come. Therefore, what to do? And obviously, Brahma happens to be the father of Swayambhu. He comes, and Narada's father also, na. So he gets convinced and he also speaks. And Priyambata gives up this entire profile of renunciation and goes back. Right? It is not easy. So why I'm bringing this up is there are some of these great devotees who give up this for the sake of a higher cause. Can you think of anybody else who also did the same? Very similar, who also was willing to give up celibacy and go back. We all know the story. We just brought in now. Kardama Muni, Devayuti's husband. Right? He also was into sex. See, if you see his condition itself, right? He says, boss, I will marry with the condition that the moment I have a child, I will take a walk. With that condition only, I will marry your daughter. That is Swayambhu Manu's daughter is Devayuti. He says that I will marry your daughter who is a Maharani. And this Muni says I will marry her only to the extent that I will give her a child. After one son is born, Kapila was born. I will leave. So these are people who are with an intention of renunciation. Their focus for the Lord is high, but they do get into, the channel of begetting a child and then take over. For that matter, even Vyasa never married, but obviously for the sake of progeny, he comes and gives, comes into to just get the lineage of Kuru dynasty. He comes and goes back. So these are exalted stories of where they are willing to give their own renunciation or celibacy for the sake of the Lord's higher cause, right? So now, coming back to the main purport, so the Lord incarnates as Vyasa. About Vyasa, I think clearly first canto we have read loads, which is why I thought I will use or take advantage of this chapter to tell you differences which we have missed out, right, in the initial chapter. So just to bring one line of connect, how many, Vedas he divided into how many? Rather, he assembled into, I should use. Hare Krishna.
Principally four, isn't it? Principally four.
Yeah, principally four. Very nice. So he grouped them. I would rather say, if they're all in different places, we all align it, right? So basically, he's actually regrouping it based on the requirements, and then he calls it. Even though after that he wrote, what are the two things he wrote? Which are the two great Puranas?
Yeah, Bhagavatam. Yeah.
Bhagavatam is much later. Prior to that.
Mahabharata, Mataji.
Mahabharatam and Ramayana. In Mahabharatam has how many words? How many verses are there in Mahabharatam? Anyone knows how many verses are there?
1 lakh, Mataji.
Mahabharatam has multiple verses. In fact, the upper planets has close to, some of them say it goes further. Mahabharatam has actually, I thought 20, how many verses? 1 lakh or 25,000 verses? So whichever is the number, divide it by Bhagavad Gita. How many verses does it have?
700 something. 700.
So imagine what percent, right? How many, what percent? It's a minuscule, right? So now you will get an answer as to why he was despondent, right? Because he was despondent because obviously the percentage of speaking is very, 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 very less. So obviously it gives him the dissatisfaction because there is no direct glorification of Lord. Of course, we have seen it. So therefore, because of which all of this, so typically some verses say Mahabharatam has 1 lakh verses, some of them say 1 lakh 10 verses, sorry, 1.1 lakh verses, some say even 2 lakh verses. But why there is variation is because of the thing. In fact, there are many, many verses as we go higher. Right. So now same with Srimad Bhagavatam, but as of now we have 18,000 verses in Srimad Bhagavatam, but all of them directly glorify the Lord or the devotees of the Lord, which is why I wanted to start with that, glorifying or getting attached to a devotee, upper varga. So which means that automatically leads to liberation. So with this, let's dive back to our content. So let's move to the second verse, right? This is clear. So any doubts you can ask me, but otherwise we can go ahead. Yeah, someone please go ahead with the second sloka.
Yes. Verse 37. Deva divisham nigama vartamani nishtitanam
Devadishanam nigamat patmani nishtitanam. Come on, everybody.
Purbhirmayena vihitabhir adrishyatubhihi.
Purvirmayena vihitabhir adrishyatubhihi.
Lokan gnatam mati vimoham atipralobham.
Lokan vinatamati vimoham ati pralobham.
Vesham vidhaya bahubhasyata aupadharmyam.
Vesham vidaya bahubhashyata aupadarmyam. Hare Krishna. I think from next sloka you can continuously chant and go forward. Mataji translation. Yes.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki Jai. When the atheists, after being well versed in the Vedic scientific knowledge, annihilate inhabitants of different planets, flying unseen in the sky on well-built rockets prepared by the great scientists Maya, the Lord will bewilder their minds by dressing himself attractively as Buddha and will preach on sub-religious principles. Purport: the incarnation of Lord Buddha is not the same Buddha incarnation we have in the present history of mankind. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, the Buddha incarnation mentioned in this verse appeared in a different Kali age. In the duration of life of one Manu, there are more than 72 Kali Yugas, and in one of them, the particular type of Buddha mentioned here would appear. Lord Buddha incarnates at a time when the people are most materialistic and preaches common sense religious principles. Such ahimsa is not a religious principle itself, but it is an important quality for persons who are actually religious.
Hare
It is a
Krishna,
common
Mataji, stop.
sense.
We can pause there. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much because I wanted the first to grow. First two things. One is Buddha is an incarnation of Vishnu. Many of them deny that, but the fact is whether we agree, don't agree, this is there. But why we do not promote too much of this is because the concept which Buddha taught was actually submissing Vedas. The irony is he brought in that because he wanted to bring what is called ahimsa. See, ahimsa is not Krishna consciousness, right? So what is Krishna consciousness? Doing everything in favor of Krishna, of which one quality is ahimsa. That is, you should not be bad to other living beings, which applies. But however, that time the people were not having so much of sense to understand, and therefore what they brought in, Buddha, there was a lot of killing, not just animals in the sake of religion, but also there were a lot of even Narabalis which were happening, children. I think we heard about this recently in Bihar and Mangaluru also. So to put an end to it, Buddha incarnated and not the Buddha of our Kali. So basically, every Kali Yuga, if we count the number of cycles, we have about 72 Kali Yugas in one in life of one Manu. So in one of the Kali Yugas earlier, Buddha had appeared, and his purpose of that is basically ahimsa. Right? So he wanted to tell boss, forget about Vedas, Sunya. Everything is zero. That means your life is just on, live, die, over. There is nothing beyond that. Typically, I think there is some principle which is followed out there. South Africa and all that, where they believe in sky above, floor below. That is a concept which is still prevailing by many people, where they talk about there is one life. Why do you care? Let's make fullest of life. Right? The problem is for most of us. You know why? Two extremes are fine. When you're highly into spirituality, no problem. You're anyway going back to Goloka or Vaikuntha. If you're extremely low, still no problem. Because sometimes they use the word ignorance is bliss. It is not a blessing. You will still be cursed. Whether you know or don't know, fire, when you touch, it's going to burn. But the difference is someone who knows it is exerting caution. So the time when he's exerting caution, he'll be thinking fire may hurt me, but he's careful so it won't burn him. But a fool, he will not know. He may go and put his hand in the fire, entire body gets burned, he dies. Right? Before he realizes it's fire, he will die. So that is what happens to a non-devotee or an atheist. He is not bothered because he doesn't even understand. A devotee does not care because he's anyway going to Vaikuntha. People like us who are so-called devotees, where we are in the process of devotion, have to be extremely careful. So then why is this ahimsa coming up? There are some situations and times when you have to give or prioritize a higher cause. Example, Sati. Sati was for a different reason. Any girl, right, who followed the religious principles of a husband who was spiritually elevated. This applies to husbands who are spiritually elevated, right? Like, for example, you take whomever, Kardamuni, or you take like Devuti's case. What happens is they will go back, or Prithu Maharaj, they will go back to the godhead along with the husband. Whatever is the destination for the husband, the wife takes. Second, the wife does not wish to continue because the pain of separation is stronger than the pain of being in the material world. So they chose Sati. Sati was a choice made by them. But later, it was forced. They used to literally bundle the girl with, by tying her hand and leg and throw her into fire. It was not an accepted cause, and that could be applicable even for a guy who was not of any moral, right? So these are sort of not accepted. So if you see, there were a lot of things which came into abolition of sati and all that came up. So there is a higher, that is not the core in principle, but when there are fading of principles, then the core principle, when it fades, all these secondary principles are highlighted so that at least that part of a principle is given importance and taken forward. So one such thing is ahimsa. They thought at least, because ideally when the core principle is there, ahimsa comes naturally, right? So you don't need to have a class for a Krishna conscious person, because many times people will be taking, you are vegetarian. Tell me, are we actually vegetarian, yes or no? Hare Krishna. Why so much of silence suddenly? Or can you hear my voice?
Yes, Mataji, yes.
Yeah. So are we vegetarian? Very confused question. So are we vegetarian or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
In principle, we are, but I think when we eat vegetables, we are eating a lot of other
Very nice.
Microbes and other things.
microorganisms with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice. So basically, in principle, this concept of vegetarianism is a questionable form, right? So in principle, just our society understands, so we tell yes. So then they tell that no, we are sattvic because we don't take onion garlic. But the truth being told that we are Krishnatarians, right? We are neither vegetarian nor sattvicarians. We are Krishnatarian because, as she very rightly said, whatever we eat, there is automatically microorganisms, everything goes. We may tell it's not within our control, but what we can do is, what is within our control is we offer prasad. Mataji, then if we offer prasadam, will that microorganism not go? The answer is the prasadam automatically is sanctified. Vegetarian and sattvic food is sanctioned food. But when we offer to the Lord, it becomes sanctified, which is why even in vegetarian food, there is an incurrence of sin because we eat potato, or beetroot, or carrot, whatever is the root, right? Plant is completely removed. But the fact is, when we offer to the Lord, now the next story will come. Can't we offer chicken, mutton, 65 to the Lord? Does Bhagavad Gita say that we should not offer? Yes or no? Does Bhagavad Gita has a recipe for Krishna? If so, where? Does Bhagavad Gita say anywhere that these are the things which you should offer to Krishna? What does Krishna say?
Water, fruits, and leaves. Yeah.
Very nice.
Pushpam
It very
phalam
clearly-
toyam. Yeah.
Patram
Patra
pushpam
pushpam
phalam
phalam.
toyam yomaya bhakta prayashati tadaham bhakti upahritam ashnami praitatmana. Very, very clearly Krishna communicates his menu card. So there is no doubt. Of course, the menu card becomes even more in detail menu card in Srimad Bhagavatam. But having said that, there are verses which very clearly. So what are we into? We are Krishnatarians, right? But however, Krishnatarian, one anga of that is vegetarian, one anga of that is sattvic, one anga is ahimsa. So when all of that is not there, a person who understands this don't do this. Which is why when you are going in for a first initiation, we don't talk about this. Okay, you have to be, because it's sacrosanct. In fact, when you're going to Brahminical initiation, there is no woe also. Right? It's the simplest initiation. They only give Gayatri Mantra because it's taken for, you are a Krishnatarian. There is no need to reiterate. But for someone who's coming into Krishna conscience on the first day, slowly we impart. Why? Because we are taking the person one step at a time. Which is why Brahma came in one of the different yugas when Kali Yuga was prevailing in one of the Manu's time. At that time, he came and removed. Common sense. My daughter always keeps saying, it is common sense, but unfortunately, common sense is least prevailing among people, which is a fact. Common sense is not as common as we actually use the word, right? Most of them lack. Non-violence is something which goes natural, but still most of us did not know it, right? We keep killing animals, we keep doing things. Today, I think in Kali Yuga, it's gone to a higher level of killing people. So coming back to it, all these talks, all these preaching are to bring one closer to God conscious. Still, we are not there, right? There are various things, right? There is something called avidya, completely zero knowledge, right? We have read this in Isha. So along with avidya, to understand avidya, we will bring vidya in, which is called material knowledge. Vidyam cha avidyam cha yastevedo vayam saha vidyayam mrityum ipa vidyayam mrityum ashnute. This one particularly will answer Priyadarshini Mataji's answer. I hope Priyadarshini Mataji, are you there? So if she's there, because sometimes whenever I bring this topic, invariably she will not be there. This Mataji always will tell, won't we become jnanis if we do devotion? Not even devotion, if we read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. It's not about jnani. You understand any amount of vidya is to come out of it. It does still matter, right? So we are talking about higher, which is called the Paradharma. Paradharma is again matter only, but the difference between Paradharma and raw matter, I'm doing chemistry, physics, is basically the Paradharma. Avidya is also raw matter, but the Paradharma has some amount of things like Brahman realization. It talks about even Paramatma realization. It talks about things which are like, for example, Ayurveda. All of this will get covered to an extent in somewhere between Vidya and Paramatma. Because there is transcendental knowledge which is built in it, right? So a completely lack of transcendental knowledge, only physics, chemistry, maths is avidya. A bit of all Ayurveda and all that which is approved comes under vidya. And do not go to directly spiritual knowledge. That is not what I am talking about, which still connects vidya only. Paradharma, right? Paravidya or Paradharma talks about directly understanding Brahman and all that, which is having a bit of transcendental touch. But the highest dharma is Parodharma. Krishna consciousness. That is why in Bhagavad Gita it says, Savai Pumshan Parodharma Yato Bhakta Radokshaje Ahetuki Apratiyata Yayatma Suprasidati. That is the highest dharma. Clearly, Krishna is highlighting and talking. So, highest stage of dharma is that. So, the religious principle, which God in the center. That is why they are telling everything is higher. Other than that, anything which is sub becomes Upadharma, Mini Dharma, small Dharma, whichever language you go. So, therefore, one of the Anga is ahimsa. But the anga had to be highlighted because that anga itself was seen. Is this clear? Why I wanted to bring in as to why? I'm sure all of you know this very well, but I just thought I can tell the ladders of how all this is built one above the other. If we are clear, we can go ahead with the next one. We'll directly go ahead with the words, read the shloka and the translation continuously. Hare Krishna. Who else? Hare Krishna. Come on, whoever wants to read can go ahead. Please unmute and go ahead. Lalita Mataji, Priyadarshini Mataji, Mangalam Mataji. Come on, anybody else also. Please go ahead. Prabhu's also. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Usha Mataji, go ahead.
Okay. Verse 38. Yarhi alaye shapi satam nahare kathasyu. Pashandino dvija jana vrishalan radeva. Swaha swadhava saditi smagiro nayatra. Shasta bhavishyati kaler bhagavan yugante. Translation.
Mataji, sorry, Mataji, just interrupting. So initially, I remember when I think me and Usha Mataji used to do some classes. We used to struggle for shlokas. I still do. But how nicely Usha Mataji, any amount of Sanskrit, very fluently she's doing. Very proud of me. Go ahead, continue, Usha.
With your blessings, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Krishna Balaram blessing. Hare Krishna. Go ahead.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thereafter, at the end of Kali Yuga, when there exist no topics on the subject of God, even at the residences of so-called saints and respectable gentlemen of the three higher castes, and when the power of government is transferred to the hands of ministers elected from the low-born Shudra class or those less than them, and when nothing is known of the techniques of sacrifice, even by word, at that time the Lord will appear as the supreme chastiser. purport, the symptoms of the worst conditions of the material world at the last stage of this age called Kali Yuga are stated herein. The sum and substance of such conditions is godlessness. Even the so-called saints and higher castes of the social orders, generally known as the Dvija Janas or the twice born, will become atheists. As such, all of them will practically forget even the holy name of the Lord, and what to speak of his activities. The higher castes of society, namely the intelligent class of men guiding the destinies of the social orders, the administrative class of men guiding the law and order of society, and the productive class of men guiding the economic development of the society, must all be properly well versed in knowledge of the Supreme Lord, knowing factually his name, quality, pastimes, entourage, paraphernalia, and personalities. The saints in the higher castes or orders of the society are judged by the proportion of knowledge in the science of God or Tattva Jnana, and not only any kind of birthright or bodily designations. Such designations without any knowledge of the science of God and practical knowledge of devotional service are considered to be all decorations of dead bodies. And when there is too much inflation of these decorated dead bodies in society, there develop so many anomalies in the progressive, peaceful life of the human being. Because of the lack of training or culture in the upper section of the social orders, they are no more to be designated as Dvija Janas or the twice born. The significance of being twice born has been explained in many places in these great literatures. And again, one is reminded herewith that birth executed by the sex life of the father and the mother is called animal birth. But such animal birth and progress of life on the animal principles of eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating, without any scientific culture of spiritual life, is called the Shudra life, or, to be more explicit, the uncultured life of the lower class of men. It is stated herein that the governmental power of society in the Kali Yuga will be passed over to the uncultured, godless laborer classes of men, and thus the Nridevas or the ministers of the government will be the Vrishalas or the uncultured lower class of men of society. No one can expect any peace and prosperity in a human society full of uncultured lower classes of men. The symptoms of such uncultured social animals are already in vogue, and it is the duty of the leaders of men to take note of it and try to reform the social order by introducing the principles of twice born men trained in the science of God consciousness. This can be done by expanding the culture of Srimad Bhagavatam all over the world. In the degraded condition of human society, the Lord incarnates as the Kalki Avatara and kills all the demonic without mercy. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Very beautifully read. Hare Krishna. Would request more devotees to start reading because, as we said, purification, our own purification. So, whenever possible, please keep your cameras on so that you can actively participate in this. Now, coming back to Kali Yuga, at the end of Kali Yuga, currently, how many years have passed Kali Yuga? Thank you, Gita.
5,000.
Yes, and
5,000 years.
Yeah, so what is the total number of years left in Kali Yuga? Or rather, total number of years in Kali Yuga?
432,000.
432. So 4.27 years is still left. The reason I'm telling is, I think, if I remember right, about 10 years back or 15 years back, they all said in 2025, if I remember right, or 2020, the world will collapse. Did you hear that? You know, someone said that the world is ending. Suddenly, I still remember, I think it was many years back. It was like 15 years back or so. Then we all decided, okay, what should we do with the existing money we should spend off? I'm talking about even when we were, this was like really many, many years back, these kind of rumors came. Unfortunately, I'm thinking why we did not read Bhagavatam, because not even one person in the family probably knew these max so clearly. They would have said, boss, you don't worry. You know, you will not be alive to look up to Kali Yuga or Kalki, because you have another two, you know, you have a long way to go. Right, so you have a 4.27. lakh years. So you forget about it and, just focus on what you are doing. So therefore, coming back to the main core point, the atheist, right, will start developing. So Krishna conscious, Chaitanya preaching will enter every village, every city for the next how many years? How many years?
10,000 years.
Haribol, very nice. So 10,000 years, which means we'll probably be able to liberate across over our generations. But after that, totally it will become reversal, right? You will only see atheism so much that how Parashuram came to destroy things, we will have Kalki to come. Also, there are some people who are talking about Kalki has already come, 2-3 people and all that, right? So we will know that these are all like just man-made. Now, the precise location, address, map, geography, village is also mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, if anyone calls themselves God, either open your Srimad Bhagavatam and check if the reference is there, or even so, if it is difficult, just tell them to show the Vishwarupa. If you see Lord Chaitanya who came, also showed Vishwarupa. Now, coming back to the Sudra class, in Kali Yuga, they call all of them as Sudra class. Why? Because anyone working under a person is considered Sudra. Because if you see a Brahmana never takes salary, right? Now you move to a Kshatriya, obviously he's a king and he's a ruler. Vaishya, again his own business. Sudra is the only guy who works under slave. Same way the relationship between an husband and wife, if you see, it varies from a person to person. A Sudra is the one who's interested in the bodily platform, touching a little bit of a man and a girl. This is more to do with the psychology. If you see that, and current research has said, the guy's attraction to a girl is more looking at the appearance of the girl, which is why the tendency is once a girl gets older or when the girl leaves the boy, the guy finds it very difficult to digest and come out. Right? Whereas in girls' case, the attraction to the person is more on the quality of the person. The quality can also be money. I'm not getting into it. But the Aishwarya Bhav is something which they like. Very rarely they will like the look of a person. This is said by research. I'm not getting into it. So therefore, if you see, if a girl comes to know this boy is not good or something, her way of exiting the relationship is faster. She will come out because she disorients him with the quality, and the quality is not that she disorients a person completely. Whereas for the guy, he relates to a personality by appearance. So the appearance is not there anymore. Even if it's the same wife, he actually has a shock. But if it is the same person who wants to get out of the person with the same appearance, he's not able to tolerate and he goes into depression, which is why they use the word. Though they say women are emotionally vulnerable, but many times scientifically they say emotionally strong. Vulnerable is someone can misuse, but strong is someone when you're fallen, you can raise up. Right? So that is a difference. Strength of taking care of children, strength of running the family, credits are given. Now, coming to that, it also varies from class to class. This one, whatever I'm talking is for Sudra women and Sudra men at a lower platform is attraction. But as you go higher, right, Vaishyas will look at stability of the person, financial stability, business orientation. Kshatriya women and will look at the boldness of the guy, how much he's able to fight, how much of vigor. Right? Same applies to the men too. Same way, Brahmana lady will look into the character of the guy. What kind of a character? What are the norms? What are the things? The reason I'm saying is based on this Varna, right? The person respect qualification as well as the character. So Krishna, when he said Chatur Varna Maya Tedya Guna Karma Vibhagashaha, the Guna and Karma, based on this only the 4 Varnas came, which also includes the marriage. Right? So the marriage also took place or takes place largely with the thought or with the feeling of what is in it for them. That was a core, right? And their personalities would do. Today, everybody is Sudra, which means eating, sleeping, fearing, mating. That's it. Nobody trusts their so-called husbands or so-called wives also. Which is why if you see, most of the time the properties are held in individual names. I am not telling this is right, this is wrong. Unfortunately, the Kali Yuga has become so contaminated that neither the husband can trust the wife nor the wife can trust the husband. Right? So that is why they are all become Juja Janas. As the time increases, there will be a situation when children cannot trust parents, parents cannot trust children. Right? I think slowly we are heading towards that, but still we have not come to that position. But we are not too far from that because we are all in Kali Yuga. So this is what it is. So therefore, specifically this particular verse, what is it highlighting? Is overall as the Kali Yuga is coming, there will be no topics of Krishna, right? If you notice, I already said, I used to live in an apartment called Hiranandani. You can never find in the name of secularism any deity. No temple. Just to go to a deity, we'll go to the next apartment, go and come. Right? So that means forget about Hindu God, Christian God, Muslim God. No God. Right? So slowly things are changing. Earlier, there used to be only gods. There used to be, even if they are devatas, at least Paradharma could have been touched. That is also gone. There is nothing in terms of literally a godless society, right? There are no morals which are there anymore. Therefore, what is happening is Kali Yuga is becoming deteriorated day by day. And once the ultimate thing where only Sudras completely rule, no mention of God, already this goes. Now the next question will come. If there is no God, how does it matter? The person can't be good. Can be good, but he can't sustain to be good. So it's about sustenance of, right? I wish I had asked this as a question, but it just came in the flow. 39th verse, please. Hare Krishna. Yeah, someone do the 39th verse. Devika Mataji or anybody. Murli Kari Prabhu. Hare Krishna, can you please unmute? Yeah, Lalita Mataji, go ahead. All are unmuting and muting. I don't know why. Am I accidentally muting you all? Yes, Geeta Mataji, please go ahead.
सर्गो तपोभङ्गस्य नवापे प्रजेशः स्थाने तधर्मामकमान्व अमृतवंशिः अन्ते त्व अधर्महरामान्यो वसात्सुराध्य माया विभूतय इमा पुरुषक्ति भजः.
Translation also.
At the beginning of creation, there are planets. Myself, Brahma, and the Prajapatis, the great sages who generate. Then, during the maintenance of the creation, there are Lord Vishnu, the demigods with controlling powers, and the kings of different planets. But at the end of there is irreligion, and then Lord Shiva and the eighth is full of anger, etc. All of them are different representative manifestation of the energy of the supreme power, the Lord. Purport, Mataji?
Yeah, please go ahead. Purport. Hare Krishna.
By Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The material world is created by the energy of the Lord, which is manifested in the beginning of the creation by the penance of Brahmaji, the first living being in the creation. And then there are the 9 Prajapatis known as great sages. In the stage when the creation, there are devotional service to Lord Vishnu or factual religion, the different demigods and the kings of different planets who maintain the world. At last, when the creation is preparing to wind up, there is first the principle of irreligion, then Lord Shiva along with the atheist, full of anger. But all of them are but different manifestations of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, Brahma, Vishnu and Mahadeva, that is Shiva, are different incarnation of the different modes of material nature. Vishnu is the Lord of the mode of goodness. Brahma is the Lord of mode of passion, and Shiva is the Lord of the mode of ignorance. Ultimately, the material creation is but a temporary manifestation meant to give the chance of liberation to the conditional souls who are entrapped in the material world, and one who develops the mode of goodness under the protection of Lord Vishnu has the greatest chance of being liberated by following the Vaishnava principles and thus being promoted to the kingdom of God, no more to return to the miserable material world. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Very nicely read. All of you all, for that matter. Thank you. So now coming back to, we know Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. So I don't want to get to the basics because you all already know the basics. What I want to ask you all is, Brahma, from Brahma, obviously anger form personified as Rudra and all of that. Lord Shiva praise someone. Who is his worshipping deity or worshipable deity? Brahma prays to Vishnu, Krishna, we know that. Whom does Lord Shiva pray to?
Vishnu.
Wow. Aradhananam sarvesam Vishnur Aradhanam param tasmat parataram devi tadahanam samakshanam. Yes, but more than that. Everywhere it is written Vishnu.
Rama.
Rama, okay. Avatar of Vishnu, but some more answer, closer.
What's the question? What's the question one more time?
Lord Shiva. Who is Lord Shiva's worshipable deity? He plays Rama, he plays Vishnu, all that, but through someone. He plays Ninna Ganam Yata Ganga, Devanam Achyuto Yata, Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu, Purananam Idam Tata. So at the top, yes, he's a Vaishnava, no doubt. But whom does he worship? Of all the rivers flowing, Ganga is the top. Of all the Devas, Vishnu is the topmost. Of all the Vaishnavites, Shiva is the topmost. And of all the Puranas, Srimad Bhagavatam is the best. But Lord Shiva, invariably prays to Lord Sankarshan. And how does his love exhibit? Through what? By looking at him, anybody will tell, okay, he's mad of Sankarshana. How? Kindly don't do that, but I'm just saying, by looking at Lord Shiva, everybody will be able to make out, Acha, he loves Sankarshana. We have not noticed, that's a different story. But tell me one thing, which by looking at Shiva, everybody will tell, okay, this is Sankarshana, he's mad of Sankarshana. What is it? Can anyone tell the aspect?
He's wearing a snake around his neck, Mataji.
Excellent. Wearing snake. Why does he wear snake? In the memory of Sankarshana. So anyone who loves Balaram or Sankarshana, kindly don't do all that. These are meant for, I always tell, there is something which you copy, there is something which you follow. This is something which you have to follow. Right? So we will not copy. So we cannot put snake around our neck. Shiva could even drink poison. So we can't go that far. So Deva, obviously Shiva, praise Lord Sankarshana. The reference to this is in Canto 5, verse 17.17. So if someone wants to open that, just one second, I'm just opening. Srimad Bhagavatam. Here very clearly he has sung two songs. There are a lot of verses glorifying, but he says very clearly, so they're talking about Shiva Uvacha, addressed as Bhagavan in this context. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahapurushaya Sarva Guna Sankhyanaya Nataya Vyaktaya Nama Iti. He is actually addressing the most powerful Lord Shiva says, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you in your expansion as Lord Sankarshana. You are the reservoir of all transcendental qualities. Although you are unlimited, you remain unmanifested to non-devotees. So he is very clearly praying to Vishnu. Of course, your answer is still right, but he is specifically offering his respect to Lord Sankarshana in his expansion. Obviously, Lord Sankarshana is none other than Adi Deva, Ananta Deva, Balaram, whichever way you want to call it. But why? Even your devastation, right? In fact, in Chaitanya Bhagavat, it's very clearly mentioned that, the cause of that association, sometimes Shankarshana himself takes the name as Tamasi. Though he is never Tamasic, he's above the modes, but because of this and the burn, right? The first time what happens, let's go back to a little bit of our geography. Not even, I don't know what you call geography only. So what happens is at the time of our annihilation, first what comes? What comes first when there is annihilation?
Fire of devastation.
Excellent. Fire of devastation. And the fire of devastation comes from Ananta Shesha's mouth. And that fire is Shiva. Right? So the fire of devastation comes and it burns the entire universe. That fire of devastation is Shiva. So this is one. After that, water comes. That's a different story, because to bring down the fire for the next round, water comes. So that we'll get to it last. So that is why, Lord Shiva, the reason they are talking about, many of them don't know. They keep talking about rivalry, and many of the Vaishnavas forget about people who believe in other religion. Even Vaishnavites do not respect Balaram or Shiva. But if you take Prabhupada, very beautifully, everywhere he went abroad, right, you will see him having Nitai Nimai. Nityananda along with Chaitanya, Gaura, Nitai, everywhere. Right? Prior to that, if you say Prabhupada, Bakthi, Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and all, many temples when we go, only Gaura was there. But why he said that? Does anyone know why Prabhupada made sure that Nityananda is everywhere whenever he went abroad. Why did they try and bring Nityananda? Does anyone know the reason as to why Nityananda? Because there is this famous pastime which comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, where, Chaitanya, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, obviously he's taken sannyasi, right? So he will see a lot of drunkards. So he wants to spread Harinam, right? So he will call Srivatsa Acharya and he will tell that, can you go inside and, chant and come. That time Srivatsa Acharya will not be able to do. He'll say, Arey, I'm from a Brahmana family. Brahmanas don't go into intoxication. He's a highly revered person. He'll say, no, I can't. So and he will tell one person. And next time Nityananda Prabhu will come. He will tell, hey, inside Hare Krishna, okay. And he will go. He will tell Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna and come. Because he does not care about time, place, circumstance, situation. And obviously, when Prabhupada went, they were largely hippies, right? Into alcoholism and all that. So the mercy of Nityananda, because Nityananda will make doorway for us to go to Krishna, and he will also enter doors which cannot be entered by anybody else, including devotees. So that is why Nityananda, who is none other than Balram, is considered as the most munificent of all, even more than Chaitanya, which is why they say that Chaitanya, Prabhupada made sure that every other place, right, everywhere in the world, there is Chaitanya Nityananda. Nityananda is also there because he said it is very much required. So that is why even now we see all of our temples will have both Chaitanya and Nityananda embedded, right? Because we all need mercy. Hare Krishna. So this one we saw, so we can go further. So therefore, they're talking about all of them are basically what avatars are they? Shiva, Vishnu, Maheshwara.
Guna avatar.
Very nice. Guna avatars, right? Coming from Vishnu. So these are all taken out. So we can go to the next verse, 40. Yeah, somebody can go ahead with that. 40, 41 and all is purely
shall I take up?
Yeah, please.
Shall I take
go
up?
Ahead. Yes, Lalita.
Yeah,
Lalita
Krishna,
Mataji, go ahead.
Bhagavate.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Am I audible?
Very.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vishnurnuvirya Gananam Katama Artiha Ya Partavani Apikavir Vimamera Rajamsi Chaskambaya Swa Rahasa Kalata Tripashprishtam Yasmatri Samya Sadanat Urukampayanam. It's very tiny for me. I'm unable to read.
Reading from the mobile.
No, from my laptop, but then it looks very tiny for me. It's okay. I'll write. Hare Krishna. Translation in purport by His Reverend Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Who can describe completely the prowess of Vishnu? Even the scientists who might have counted the particles of the atoms of the universe cannot do so, because it is he only who, in his form of Trivikrama, moved his leg effortlessly beyond the topmost planet Satyaloka up to the neutral state of the three modes of material nature, and all were moved. Shall I continue with purport?
Yeah. Purport also. Hare Krishna.
Purport. Yeah. The highest scientific advancement of the material scientist is atomic energy. But the material scientist is not able to have an estimation of the particles of atoms contained in the whole universe. But even if one is able to count such atomic particles, or is able to roll up the sky like one's bedding, even then one is unable to estimate the extent of the prowess and energy of the Supreme Lord. He is known as Trivikrama because once in his incarnation of Vamana, he expanded his leg beyond the highest planetary system, Satyaloka, and reached the neutral state of the modes of nature called the covering of the material world. There are 7 layers of material coverings of over the material sky, and the Lord could penetrate even those coverings. With a straw, he made a hole through which the water of the causal ocean filters into the material sky, and the current is known as the sacred Ganges, which purifies the planets of the three worlds. In other words, no one is equal to the transcendently powerful Vishnu. He is omnipotent, and no one is equal to or greater than him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. This is the sloka which I just said, right? Among the rivers, Ganga is the best, right? That is what Nimna Ganam Yata Ganga. And next line is obviously no one is as powerful. Devanam Achyuto Yata. And no Vaishnava is equal to Shiva, right? Then that is where we are talking about Nimna Ganam Yata Ganga. Devanam Achyuto Yata. Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu. Puranana Nidam Tata. I think this more or less covered in these two things. Obviously, Krishna is the only one who can actually talk about his potency, because he's so unlimited, right? And the most confidential jewel or anything which we always give to someone close to our heart, and that is exactly Krishna gives this, or Vishnu gives this to Anantashesh. He's the only one who's there everywhere, including when Krishna was in the womb of Devaki. Anantashesh was there, which is why when Devaki Ma was lying down in the prison house, she was not able to sleep. She was telling that, how the prison floor is. All of us who have gone to Mathura, we know. It's a hard rock. There is no marble or mosaic. It's like made of stones, right? And she was telling it is very, I don't know what is the word we will tell, but very slippery shoes to tell. I'm lying down, but it's very slippery, because you know how Anantashesha is. So this is one. Also, when you see when Krishna was winding up the pastimes, not highlighted much, but before Krishna wound this pastime, we see Anantashesha, when he leaves, he takes the form of a white snake. It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, and he goes back to his pastime, when he's winding his pastime. So we will see typically how big Vishnu is, and obviously followed by the next verse, which talks about this particular glory, how it is held by Anantashesh. Yeah, thank you so much. You can continue the 41 also if you wish, because it's the same, more or less same continuations. These are Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. 1 minute, let me make it bigger.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. Nantam vidami ahamami munayo agrajaste maya balasya purushasya kuto avaraye gayan gunan dashasatanana adi devaha sesho adunapi samavasyati nasya param. Hare Krishna. Translation and purport by His Divine Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Neither I nor all the sages born before you know fully the omnipotent personality of Godhead. So what can others who are born after us know about him? Even the first incarnation of the Lord, namely Sesha, has not been able to reach the limit of such knowledge, although he is describing the qualities of the Lord with 1,000 faces. Purport. The omnipotent personality of Godhead has three primary potencies, namely the internal, external, and marginal potencies, with unlimited expansions of these three energies. As such, the expansions of his potencies can never be calculated by anyone, because even the personality of God himself, as the incarnation of Sesha, cannot estimate the potencies, although he has been describing them continuously with his 1,000 faces. Hare Krishna.
Very good, very beautiful. So basically, Anantashesha, right? First expansion of Krishna. Who's first expansion of Krishna? Who is the first expansion of Krishna?
Balarama.
Balarama. Right? From Balarama comes what?
First Chaturvyuha.
First quadruple. First quadruple.
First quadruple.
So who are they? Sankarshana, you know that. Sankarshana, Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, right? Yes. So now Sankarshana, because why Sankarshana? Anyone knows why is the name Sankarshana given to Balaram?
Attraction, Mataji, because he was attracted from to the womb of the Rogini from Devaki Mata. So Sankarshana, attraction.
Akarshana means attraction. He could pull himself from the womb of, actually from from Devaki Ma to Rohini. So this is why he is called Akashana, and he can also pull us towards diversion. Bala also many times people think as physical strength. No, he gives us the Bala to go back to Krishna. He is the Adi Guru, right? So any representative, any spiritual master for us, whoever it is, right? Jayapadka, Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada, whomever, they are all representatives of our divine Guru, our topmost Adi Guru, who is Balaram. What are the three energies, primary potencies of Krishna? What are the three energies?
Mataji, internal energy. You mean that, Mataji? Internal, external, and marginal energy.
Yeah. What do you call that?
Antaranga Shakti,
Bajranga
Shakti, and Parashta Shakti.
Yeah. So this is all of us know. What are the three internal energies of the Lord?
Aladini, Samvit, Sandini.
Very nice. Samvit, Sandini, and Ladini. Samvit and Sandini is specifically under the jurisdiction of Balaram. Right, so Ladini comes under Radharani, the bliss potency, whereas Samvit and Sandini comes under the jurisdiction of Balaram. Samvit is talking about knowledge, which we call it as Chit, right? Sandini talks about we are talking about the Sat Chit, right? Eternity, which is Sat. Sat Chit Ananda, divided like that. Sandini, right? And Samvit, and therefore Ladini. Ladini is Radharani. So, which is why if you see the material world, the perverted reflection of this is what is happening in the material world. I'll give you an example. The Samvit, okay, which is the Chit, which is the highest, right, knowledge. Reflection of that becomes mode of goodness here. That is why someone with high knowledge is generally in mode of goodness. Next is, we are talking about our we are talking about Sat Chit, right? We are talking about Sat, which is eternity. So, which we are talking about Sandini, which talks about power of creation. The creation of the spiritual world as well as the material world is done by Balaram, right? Not only that, he expands his jewelry, he expands everything. All the paraphernalia of Krishna is Anantashesh serving in the Shantarasa. So Shantarasa, that is reverence, more of reverence. Shantarasa, normally the jnanis and all attack. There is not much of devotional service. In spite of that, he is serving. Right? Every 5 rasas, Balaram is the only one who serves. So now coming to the Shantaras, what happens is he actually is doing this way, right? Now that reflection in the material world is mode of passion, eternity. Purchase, buying, I'm mode of passion, right? I want to expand, I want to become a businessman, I want to expand the perverted reflection. Let's move to Ladini Shakti. Ladini Shakti is only love, Radharani. What is a perverted reflection of this mode of ignorance? So whatever is high end over there, when it is reflected, just like the tree, which has a flower, when you put it here in the thing, what happens? The flower comes first, right? So it's all ulta. Whatever is the highest over there becomes the lowest here. So that's a disadvantage here. So the first incarnation is Balaram. He is the only one serving the Lord in all the 5 rasas and does the maximum seva. He's also the supreme personality of devotee Godhead, which means that he is also supreme personality of Godhead, but he's always having seva power. Even he is not able to talk and appreciate Krishna, expand Krishna, what to talk about us. But that doesn't mean we will stop appreciating. We will continue to appreciate him for our own purification. The idea of purification is not to impress Krishna, though we will all try to do that. But the idea is basically we are doing it for our own purification. We can become pure and go back, right, to God. So that is what we are talking about. Which is why even in Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter they say, even to get into spirituality, Yesham Tvandagata Papam Jananam Punya Karmanam Te Dvesha Tvita Vinmukta, everything Drida Vitaha. So why Tesham Tvandagata Papam Jananam Punya Karmanam? One side we are telling you don't need punya. But even to enter spirituality, some grace should be there. Which is why we are talking to non-devotees. We don't talk to them, but then we give prashadam and all so that they can get that Tesha Tvandagata Papam Jananam Punya Karmanam Te Tvanda Moha Nirmuktam Bhajatam Pa Dhridavrtaha. If you need undeviated, we are talking Aparatiyata Ahituki, uninterrupted, unmotivated bhakti, we have to get, and even little bit to come here, we need to have that punya karma, right? So bhakti needs more punya karma. For that, you need devotee association. Some devotee we get Ajnana Sukriti, fine. right? But everywhere there will be somewhere we talk about this luck, right? Spiritual luck, which can happen only by the grace of Guru Gauranga. And we are talking about Guru here refers to our Adi Guru, who is Balaram, who is serving in the form of Ananta Shesha. Yes, Mataji, next. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, can I read 42?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Shloka 42. Esham sa esha bhagavan dayayedanantaha sarvatmana shritapado edi nirvalikam te dustaram atitaranti cha devamayam naisham mamaha iti di shwa shugala bhakshehe. I'll continue translation and this one, Mataji.
Yes, Kana, please go ahead.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. But anyone who is specifically favored by the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, due to unalloyed surrender unto the service of the Lord, can overcome the insurmountable ocean of illusion and can understand the Lord. But those who are attached to this body, which is meant to be eaten at the end by dogs and jackals, cannot do so. Perfect. The unalloyed devotees of the Lord know the glories of the Lord in the sense that they can understand how great the Lord is and how great is his expansion of diverse energy. Those who are attached to the perishable body can hardly enter into the realm of the signs of Godhead. The whole materialistic world, based on the conception of the material body as the self, is ignorant of the signs of God. The materialist is always busy working for the welfare of the material body, not only his own, but also those of his children, kinsmen, community men, countrymen, etc. The materialistic have many branches of philanthropic and altruistic activities from a political, national, and international angle of vision. But none of the field work can go behind the jurisdiction of the misconception of identifying the material body with the spiritual soul. Unless, therefore, one is saved from the wrong conception of the body and the soul, there is no knowledge of Godhead. And unless there is knowledge of God, all advancement of material civilization, however dazzling, should be considered a failure. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this is there is two sides of the coin, right? I still remember when we get up early in the morning and keep doing when we are chanting and all, right? I think one thing is I used to put Mangalarti, not very loud, but even then, they used to, you had a neighbor telling that, the middle of the night you are doing, middle of the night you are disturbing me, and all that she will be telling. And I will never understand where is middle of the night, because middle of the night I will be sleeping. Later only, whenever we open, we used to see a lot of, because their sleeping time starts only at 3 or 4, because there used to be a lot of alcohol bottles and all that. Right? Probably they were drinking and they were stretched nights and all that. So for them, obviously for them, they start their sleep at 3 a.m. in the morning. And that's according to the middle of the night. And for us, according to us, it's Brahma Muhurta, right? So that is why there is a shloka in Bhagavad Gita. Ya Anisha Sarva Bhutanam Tasyam Jagriti Samyami Yasya Jagriti Bhutani Sanisha Sarvato Munai, which means what is night for us becomes day for them and vice versa. That's why we call them mad and they call us mad, right? So coming back to the main point is, if you are so materialistically involved, which is largely in the mode of passion, or a bit of even mode of ignorance for these kind of character, they will never be able to understand spirituality. Even those who are into mode of goodness, let's take that example. What happens is they are more into children. Many people always dialogue. And I've heard this from my mom as well. Always she will tell that I am not at all materialistic. I'm only fond of my children. Because their understanding of materialism is matter. Matter, according to them, is jewelry, house, which they are right. And I also hear many people tell that I don't do anything for me. Not a day I spend 1 rupee for me. I only spend for my wife and children. Again, what is that? It is not your next door wife and children. If you want to spend for your next door wife, it's more dangerous. But coming back to the main story, that is also materialistic, right? Your own wife and children are your own expansions. Okay, what about some people who are interested in altruism? Yes, they are better. But again, they are interested. Right? Some of them will call, and I call myself, right? I'm a fanatic of Telugu because I belong to, my mother tongue is Telugu, right? Still, we'll be extremely keen. Even though I don't like movies, I don't understand movie. If there is a Telugu song or something going on, I'll go put my head there. Why? It is not the movie which I like, but Telugu, You're getting the feel that that is all getting into the point that it is an expansion, how I relate myself, how we all relate each one of us to. These also keep us down, right? Why it says that at the end, eaten by dogs and jackals. So typically there are only two categories, right? So people at the end of the day, what happens to the body? Either gets burnt or buried. Either ways, this way or the other way, the body is not even worth discussion here. But somebody who's spiritually elevated does not really care what happens to the body, because they will always go back to Godhead. And that is why Krishna, I was talking about two things. Law. Do you remember what are the two laws I was talking about at the beginning of the class? And I've spoken about it earlier. What are the
Law
two
of
laws?
mercy. Law of
Very nice.
mercy one.
Mercy. Very nice. Thanks for remembering. Law of mercy only can save us, right? That is why Krishna says one very nice word. He says, Apisetu duracharya bhajatam mam ananya bhaksha tureva samantavyam samyak vivasitosnya. That means what? He's telling Apisetu durachara. Durachara means someone who does absolute wrong. Okay, you consider him sadhu. Because somehow, right? Apisetu duracharya bhajatam mam ananya. That means he's ananya bhakta. When does that condition come? When someone is an Ananya Bhakta, that means he's doing completely, but he's having Jata Bhakti. That means he's not done Shastra. Because if he's done Shastra, he will not slip and fall because he knows the danger. But he will have a family connect, right? Because of family, but he's a Dridavata. He's got Ananya Bhakta. Typically a touch of Uttama Adhikari without the knowledge of Shastra. Somewhere between Madhyama Adhikari and Uttama, but he is definitely an Ananya Bhakta. What Uttama Shraddhavan? He has complete confidence in the Lord. What is happening? Such a devotee you consider, you should think of him as a sadhu. Why you have to think of him as a sadhu? Why Krishna is giving guarantee? Now a lot of mercy is coming. Chipram bhavati dharmatma shashva chatya gachati kaunteya pratijaniti namo bhakta pranashitu. Why Kaunteya should tell? Why Kaunteya? Who's Kaunteya, by the way?
Arjuna.
Arjuna.
Arjuna. Why should why should Arjuna tell? Why can't Krishna tell?
Because if his devotees declares no, he will stick to that word more than his word. Because he breaks his word.
Yeah, because Krishna is Bhakta Vatsatsalavam, but he is a Bhakta Pradina, higher than that, right? He will also, one more thing is Bhakta Vatsalatvam, very clearly. Devotee's word is the ultimate word. For the sake of devotee, he will do anything. Krishna is someone who is considered to be very Shanta, right? He doesn't get angry. But imagine in the Kurukshetra war, he is coming on one side when Bhishma attacks, Arjuna. Look at the anger. He does not care what he's doing. He's jumping from the chariot. He comes, his upper garment, usually the garments don't fly off that way. He's flying on one side. His face is fully sweating. He's like, he's anger personified. He is one side full of ashes. But in spite of that, his sweats are like pearl, right? Very beautifully. And this, unfortunately, devotees could not see because they were on Krishna's side. But on the other side, Natai Vachani Narloka Vira Yehava Krishna Mukaravindam Netra Ipibando Naina Viraman Patastra Puta Padama Purasya. In spite of Partha's arrows which are flowing, people on the other side are able to gaze and fall in love with the look of Krishna. In spite of that. Why? Because Krishna is personified. Personification of beauty, personification of everything. His love for devotees is so wide. That is why he say unalloyed devotee. In fact, an unalloyed pure devotee is so chaste that he does not even accept any other form of Krishna other than Krishna himself. Give me an example of that. He does not accept any other form of Krishna other than Krishna himself.
Vishwarupa Sandarshana, where he goes. Vishwarupa Sandarshana, when he goes from the forearm,
very
from the
nice.
Vishwarupa to the
Vishwarupa.
forearm.
He is not
And
able to
then
take the forehand. Very true. Vishwarupa, so nice. Wow. Adbhutam. It is very nice, but Bhayankaram, I don't want. Parambrahma, Parandama, Pavitram, Paramam Bhavan, Purusham, Shashvatam, Divyam, Adideva, Majam Vibhum. I understood your theory class in 10th chapter. I have declared. But this is scary. Right? Please change. To 400. Okay, 400 form also not required. Come back to your 200 form. Devotee likes only 200 form. Any other examples?
Devaki.
Devaki wanted a 200 form not because of any reason. It is because of fear. She says 400 form I don't want to see because Kamsa. Because Devaki is a pure devotee, but then she is not in the topmost level of devotion. Not that she's not a devotee from that perspective, but she is devotee in awe and reverence. She's more into respect form of Lord. Like if you see the Yashoda Mai is love form, two-handed form only. Yeah, she sees Vishwarupa, she's thinking, "Arey, something wrong with me. My head is going wrong. He's only Krishna." Someone says he's only Vishnu. He's only demigod. No. Balaram is coming and telling, you have any idea you've tied whom? He is the Lord. He is the Lord of all. He has taken 25 avataram. Please refer to Srimad Bhagavatam. He's telling, right? And you have tied him. Acha, who are you? Oh, you don't know me. I am Ananta Shesha. I am Adi Shesha. I am, Lakshmana and Rama. Everything. I am, I am avatar. Whenever Krishna comes, I come as Balaram. When Rama comes, I come as, we both are coming here as incarnation. You know what avatar? Yashoda Mai says, if both avatars are sitting on my head and dancing, what will I do? Come, I will tie you also. Immediately Balaram says, and runs away. Right? We have this Leela of Damodar. Every year we tell, and this is one pastime I can never forget. And this is the biggest joke which I always relish, even though I've heard millions of times. Why all this? Bottom line is very clear. They don't even see, they want only two-handed form. Any other example can you think of? Where I want only the form, two-handed form, I will see only Krishna.
The Brajavasis, the
Rajavasi is very nice. And little more example, fasting.
Gopis Mataji.
Very nice. Gopis are coming in Rasa dance, missing Krishna. They are searching in vain. And Krishna immediately changes to the four-handed form to play a Leela. Right? And in this four-handed form, they are coming and they are offering Namaste and telling, where is Krishna? Please tell. And he's showing the route. He says, thank you, and he goes. Right? So imagine even Narayana, they are just telling Namaskaram and going. Whereas Lakshmi Devi, and it is said even in Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? Where Chaitanya meets the Brahmana, right? Who's from Ramanuja Sampradayam. He says Lakshmi is the topmost. He says, yes, if Lakshmi is the topmost and Lakshmi Narayana is the chaste person, then why is Lakshmi coming after our Krishna? See, Gopis never went after Narayana. They never went after Vishnu. They only said Namaskar. But why is Lakshmi wanting to participate in Rasa dance? Everybody participates in Rasa dance, right? We see Gopi, Shiva. Lord Shiva comes as what? He's a protector of the Dham. What does he come as? Gopishwar. Right? So he is also participating in the thing. Vishaka Shakti takes him to the water and he takes bath in the holy rivers and he becomes Gopi and comes. What about Balram? Does Balram participate in the Rasa dance of Krishna? Balram has his own Rasa dance. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Balaram. Does he participate in the Rasa dance of Krishna? Yes or no?
No, Mataji.
He does. He participates as the Ananga Manjari, as Radha Rani's subordinate. So Ananga Manjari is very important role. He serves in all 5 rasas I told, right? Shanta Rasa, he expands as jewelry. Dasya Rasa, how does he expand? Balaram.
Anantashesha.
Excellent, Anantashesha. That's what we are reading. Sakya Rasa.
By being his ornaments and
that is Shantaras. That is Shantaras. Sakyaras, friendship, fraternity.
He takes care when he eats mud, no, as a elder brother. He takes care of him.
Not elder brother will come Vatsalyaras. But Sakyaras is friend, na? He is going with him, he is praying when he is stealing butter, partner in crime. Sakyaras is friendship. He is doing the same action. He will rob the butter. He will go steal. He will do everything. And Madhumangal, excellent. Along with that, that is why if you notice the very nice shloka in the 10th canto, Malyalam Nirnam Naravara Shriman Smaro Murtiman Gopanam Swajana Sitam Shitabujo Shasho Shipitro Sichu Mrityu Bojapate Virada Vidusham Takvam Param Yoginam Vrishninam Paradevate Tividito Rangam Gata Sagraja. Who's that Sagraja? Krishna enters when he is looking. They're talking about 2 heroes entering the. When is this song coming? When is this sloka coming? Which verse is this? I don't want the verse number. I just want what does it depict?
The assembly of Kamsa.
Excellent. Kamsa assembly. There is a ring, fighting ring. They are entering. Mallana Mashmir, right? People are fighting like lightning. They are entering, right? And women are looking gaze and they are falling, right? And Everybody, all the rasas, people are seeing the same people who are entering. When he is entering along with his brother, he says, right? So, Sa Agraja, that means Sa Agraja, his brother Balaram, they are entering. The girls are looking lovely. Boys are telling, aha, he is a hero, a macho man we are talking about. All the elevated gopis, elevated as in older gopis, and the parents are singing Vatsalya Bhav. Like how Mataji was telling, Vatsalya Bhav, does Balaram exhibit? Yes. Balaram exhibits when he tells don't do, when his hand is there in Vrindavan. I was telling this in Bhakti Vaibhav fast track class of ours. Hand he puts by, Mama, don't worry, I will take care of Krishna. Vatsalya Bhav. Right? Hand he is putting, that is only the picture in Vrindavan. He is putting his hand and telling, I am there. Bada bhai, I will take care. Hey, I will. Because one Baba is higher than the other. It's not the power. But the fact is, when Krishna is tied, he is requesting, Mama, release him. Because Mummy, can't Balram release? He can. Only in Vatsalya Bhav. That's why he will tell, hey bro, I will release you, but you should stop stealing. And Krishna is telling, then my job itself is stealing. Why release me? I will stay like, it's okay, bye-bye, he says. Why? That time he takes Vatsalya Bhav. As a friend Bhav, he cannot, but Vatsalya Bhav only he can release. That is why he is taking a higher Bhav. But Krishna says not required, he goes back. So the Bhava is very important. And the Rasa dance of Krishna, he participates in the Ananga Manjari. And the same Ananga Manjari is which Goswami? One of the Goswamis is Ananga Manjari. Who's that? Who's that?
Sanatana.
Gopala Bhatta Goswami is Ananga Manjari. Right? And when Krishna comes as, when Balaram comes as Nityananda, right? You see Janaki Mata. We are having this sloka also, no? Not sloka, what do you call this? Sloka song, whatever. Nityananda Vade Tetur Vasudha Prana Vallava Janavi Jivitapate Krishna Prema Prada Prabhu. Janavi Mata is the one who spread, right? How she has so much power. We are talking about his again Ananga Manjari. So we can see the connect. All the Krishna Leela characters will come there. Most of them, dual role, triple role. Not that every character you should look like that, but I'm just telling the connectivity. Therefore, Janavi Mata, who is the wife of Balaram, who is none other than Nityananda, is coming into contact. How is the connect is the thing. So therefore, we are talking about, I'm just trying to bring the links. Is it getting very heavy? I mean, because you are almost in the end of second canto, going to enter third canto soon, shortly, or rather mid second half of the second canto. So is it fine or is it getting too advanced? Am I connecting too many dots? Is it okay? Take whatever you can. As you progress, you will learn the one which you have left. But is it comfortable? Are you able to understand and relate to the various leelas, various pastimes of the Lord? Yeah? Okay, thank you. Now going back to, please, instead of chat, please unmute and tell when I'm asking. Lucky is here. Now coming back to the next important point is Balaram also has his own rasa dance. Right? He also, that is why when he goes back to Vrindavan, they will say that he gets there. Which demon did he destroy during his rasa dance? Which rasa dance Balaram performed are different set of gopis, not the same gopis. And there is some demon he destroys.
Shankachuda?
No, not Shankachuda. Shankachuda is earlier. Shankachuda time, he takes care of the gopi. Very nice. See, the gopis of Krishna has a lot of respect to Balaram. That is the Shankachuda demon, right? That time Krishna runs after Shankachuda, but Balaram is protecting, right, the gopis. He takes the role of brother. He does the same thing one more time. Balaram actually takes the role of brother and holds the gopis who want to commit suicide. At one shot he saves. Which incident is that? One particular time when Balaram takes the responsibility, he is same time he will behave multiply. He will be, when the gopis are crying, he will cajole them, he will convince them, he'll say, don't worry, Krishna will be safe. When is that? Can you remember when he dances on something, when Krishna is dancing and gopis literally are thinking he's going to die? Kalyan. Very nice. Kalinga Nadanam. He's in the water. He goes inside the water. He's not there. Multiple reaction. Balaram is the only one who can take control, take charge of the situation. We can't. Lakhs of people are there. Gopis are crying. He takes the role of a brother. right? And he consoles them. He wipes their tears. He says, don't worry, I'm there, right? Parents are falling there. He's telling, Mama, don't worry, I'm there. Brother, and all the people are running with power. He's holding them in. Who can do that? Only Balaram, right? With both mental power. How many people he's handling, right? When Minister Prabhu tells me to handle two things, I go bonkers, right? When Bhakti Vaibhav fast track in one of the yatras, he said, handle. I tell, yes, Prabhu. But the second moment of the yatra is gone for me. My BP went up. Right? How will I handle 1 more week? How will we start? How will we launch? I'm telling, yes. Who are the teachers? Where is the curriculum? How do we start every day? What is the timing? What timing we should have? What is convenient? How to go about? Do you understand? But imagine that one moment, how Balaram is expanding. And now when we are also handling all other things in spirituality, it is the power of Balaram who gives us Sankarshana, Akashana to pull us. Even here, the class initially was so quiet, na? Suddenly, when Balaram stands came, did you all notice? Everybody are awake. How? Because Balaram would have thought, beyond this, if I let Radhika Dasi will sleep, let me get everyone active. Power of Balaram can work wonders, right? So that is why we need Guru. And how does he come? Not only as Chaitya Guru in the heart, but as externally as Guru. That is why we should always consider Guru equal to the Lord, because he is the external personal manifestation of Balaram, who is the Guru form. He comes to teach us, right? So we should respect the Guru. Now back to this material, people will never understand, right? We always have the feeling, my person, my family, my mom. You will feel the purest of love you see in mother, but even the mother love in the material world still, I'm not saying it's contaminated, but people still have some expectation, disappointment. Every mother will be disappointed with the child, and so likewise, every child gets disappointed with the mother in some phase or the other. Yes or no? Yes or no? We will tell I've got the best mother in the world, but still deep inside, we'll be thinking, Mamma is more closer to that brother or sister of mine. How many of us have thought, at least one part of our life, we would have thought yes or no? Why silence? All mothers are by your side. My mama is not there, so I can. Right? True, right? So that is what is the material world. The material world is always a culmination of all the mixtures of all this. So this is what it is. And any other realization? Do you all have any doubts? Can you all talk and tell me? I don't check chat. Unmute.
Hare Krishna Mataji, not exactly related to this aspect.
Sure.
You said like Balram, he looks after Krishna in all the 5 rasas. Can
Yes.
we also have that desire, Mataji, to serve Lord in all the 5 rasas? Or for us, only one rasa
One
is
rasa,
possible?
Mataji. Very nice. Reena Mataji, I wish your question is exactly my question as well. I would always love that thought, right? Can't we serve Krishna in 5 rasas? There are small difference. Can we serve Krishna in all ways? Yes. For example, if you are serving Krishna in, let's say, Vatsalya, I'm just giving an example. Obviously, you will also serve Krishna in the Dasya mode. For example, if you see Yashoda Mai, she drops all work and makes, makkan for him. Na? That means she's also working as a servant. A mother role does that role as well, of a servitor role. A mother will wash the clothes, iron the clothes, thanks, ma'am, and take, wash the thing and keep, right? So the mother takes the role which is lower as the dasya. Sometimes she acts as a friend, right? Shantaras also she acts. So she will come in multiple roles after 5 minutes. Right? So after, so Dasya role also she will come. So she will take that role. Shanta role also she will sometime have to be there. So all roles we take, but can't take forms. Balaram is the only unique personality who has taken and served in all. For example, Radha Rani also has not taken various forms. Only Balaram has. Radha Rani has served in all ways. Radha Rani sometimes has taken the role of a mother when Krishna is very upset. Right? Some of the pastimes I have shared in the past track, wherein they keep crying. Krishna is very upset. She will go and console him. She'll say, "Don't worry." That time she's taken the role of Vatsalya, but she doesn't take the form. She doesn't take the position of the Vatsalya. Mother only stays that way. She will sometimes she sometimes feels jealous also. Look, Krishna's friends, Madhu Mangal and all are able to put, Sudama and all are able to put hand in public. I'm not able to do that, Baba. But still she's not able to do it. Because her role is Madhurya Bhav. And of course, we have 2 sub-roles in that, right? One is, what are they? What are the 2 sub-roles in Madhurya? Usha
Swakiya,
Mataji, please talk. Sakya and Parakya, which is the highest? Swakya or Parakya, which is the highest?
Parakya is highest, Mataji.
Right? So Parakya, though she is in Parakya, she will be able to do all service to Krishna, which is the highest, right? And but still, you can't serve, we can't take all 5 positions, unfortunately. You can take one position. If you want to be in Madhurya and you still want to serve like Balaram, maybe you can serve Ananga Manjari. Right? So that way you will enter the Rasa dance, at the same time you will do Seva. But you cannot take 5 positions differently. You can't be one-time mother. That is explained so beautifully in Nectar of Devotion as Rasa Bas. Rasa Bas, right? Usha Mataji, you can stop sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. Hare Krishna. You will enter the area of mixed, which is Rasa Bas. Rasa Bas, you can still have mixed thing. Like for example, primary and secondary. Like for example, Arjuna was primary Rasa is what for Arjuna? What is the primary Rasa? Sakya Bhav. But secondary is during the Vishwaroop, what happened? What was the secondary Rasa which got mixed? We have 5 primary and we have how many secondary? 7 secondary.
7 secondary.
Yeah, of that, which one Arjuna got? One or two?
Vibhatsya, Mataji.
Either fear also he got and wonder. Atpuda also he got. When he saw, wow, both came, right? Secondary rasas we can have. But in the primary rasa, we can have only one primary rasa. And unfortunately, many of us won't know it now. As we get elevated, when we come to Bhava stage, we will know. Prema stage, we will experience. Right? So, Reena Mataji, the rasa which you have, you will definitely relish when you go there. So, at this point in time, we want to serve Krishna in all ways. So, currently, only Sarvator, Dasa, Dasanu, Dasa is the only rasa which we can do at this point in time. And don't worry, the rasa, whichever rasa you are complete. You will never have the feeling of unfulfillment. Example, Arjuna. Arjuna never wants to serve in Vatsalya. He may be concerned. He is so much concerned that when Ashwatthama's arrows are hitting Krishna, he is dropping everything, running before him and taking the hits. So much that Krishna is not able to sleep. He is so upset. He is night sneaking into Arjuna's room. And Bhima is looking. So what is he doing in the middle of the night? Where is this Krishna going? He follows him. And he's seeing the wounds of Arjuna and he removes all of that overnight. Right? But Arjuna never says, I want to serve you in Madhurya Ras. I want to serve you in Vatsalya Ras. He doesn't have that bhava. He will, as a friend also you can protect, right? Only that bhava he takes. Same way when Bhishma's arrows are coming, when Arjuna is running behind him and stopping, when does he go and stop Krishna? What is this incident? When does he stop?
Repeat the question, Mataji.
When Arjuna, one incident, he physically, see, one time Yashoda Mai ties Krishna, fine. But physically, Arjuna will stop Krishna one time. When?
Bhishma, when he was attempting
Bhishma's time, right? Physically, why? Why does he stop him at his own cost of his life?
Because he did not want Krishna to break his vow.
Break his vow.
He does not want Krishna to break his vow. What we will tell in the house? Actually, forget breaking the vow. Yeah, my life is in stake. Go ahead, yeah. Right? Voice seems wrong. But look at Arjuna. Look at the thing. He does not want Krishna to break his vow. So he is telling, I don't mind. Let the arrows kill me. You can't break the vow. So he's full force, right? Not like our cinematic. Don't do, yeah, don't, no. Full force is, one hand is on his hip with full body power. Imagine Arjun power, right? He's holding Krishna. He says, don't do it. It's okay. Right? That is the kind of love. And he's fully happy. Arjuna never keeps telling, I want a higher profile. So look, Mataji, don't ever think that whatever profile you get, whatever it is, whether it is Dasya Bhav or whether it is Shanta Bhav, devotees generally don't prefer Shanta Bhav because the Shanta Bhav is only awe and reverence. When you go to Dasya Bhav, there is awe and reverence and service. Love of service starts there, variegatedness. In Sakya Bhav, awe and reverence is lower. It's almost not there. They will feel wow, but then again they will go around fighting. Like, he's telling Gandhi Baba, why should I give? Do you know? I will tell me where I should hit. So that reverence, Param Brahma, Parandama and all came. Again, scare comes, but again he goes back to the original thing, right? When he's as a charioteer, finally after the war, Krishna is telling, get down. Arjuna is telling, you get down first now. So that equal kind of a feeling is there. And in Vatsalya Bhav, along, no our reverence and all, along with exchange of friendship, fraternity, there is one more thing telling, I can take care of Krishna. Oh my God. And Krishna becomes a play tool in the hand of Vatsalya, in the Vatsalya Bhav. Literally, he says, whatever you say, whatever, Mama, for Nanda Maharaj, I will carry in the head the slipper also. Right? For Yashoda Mai, Mama, once Yashoda Mai faints, with great difficulty is carrying coconut water and all. Same Leela is repeated also, right? Same thing is coming in Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? So, finish. So that is the kind of bhava which you can see, because there he becomes he becomes subtle, he becomes substitution, or rather, what should I say? The devotee becomes stronger. Prabhupada, in fact, the devotee asked Prabhupada, one of the persons asked, can I become God? He says, you can become both controller of God. Become a devotee of the God. Devotee of the God controls him. Look what he does. He becomes charioteer. Krishna, Arjuna is telling, go that side. How will he do? With some say knee, but actually with the foot, right? They wear sharp shoes, touch the shoulder. Only then, when they say turn left, there is no microphone. No? It's so loud. So he has to touch, turn left, turn right. How? That's how they do. Many times when they used to sleep off, Arjuna's leg used to be very close to Krishna's face. That's a kind of bhava, completely content. There is no question mark. Can I be better off? That never happens there. Here only, I want that profile. Mother and daughter-in-law also competes. You know how? Because mother feels, oh, daughter-in-law spends more time. I should not lose my position. So when the son, instead of controlling the son, mother, if you see, becomes subservient after the marriage, because she doesn't want the daughter-in-laws to take the profile. So she will say that I want to be sweet to the son. Only then the son will like me. So many mothers become subservient even at the cost of the control of the son, because she wants to go into the competition. Whereas with the daughter, she will have that liberty. That is why sons, children, mother-in-law, they have lesser control. Daughters, children, because they know anyway, daughter is like, she will come back like the dog. Na? If you throw anything also, the daughter will come. But daughter-in-law, no, might poison the son and son will go away. So they become subservient. Like that, Krishna becomes subservient in Vatsalya Bhav. In Madhurya Bhav, in Dwaraka Bhav, there is little bit of Aishwarya, because that is why it's called Swakiya. Whereas Parakya Rasa, nothing, like boyfriend, I say, shut up, come sit down. Gopis will tell, you know what? You don't, some of the elderly gopis, of course, in Vatsalya Bhav, they will tell it, if you dance only, I will give back this. Okay, and Krishna will dance. Right? And gopis in love mode, they tell Krishna, I just can't tolerate you. Why are you even doing this to us? Krishna will tell, what do you want me to do? Move, get out. They used to talk like this. Okay, don't show your face, though they never meant it, right? Krishna used to miss his flute and he will search which gopi has which gopi, and every gopi will be, okay, can Krishna come? So they will all pretend like this, even though they never have the flute, so that Krishna can come and completely, like how they can have, we have search warrant, right? Like that Krishna used to have search warrant on their bodies. Come here, you must be having, you must be having. He used to do that because everybody used to enjoy their rasa in their own innocence. So that is the rasa. So any rasa we get, don't worry about it. Just do your sadhana. Our rasa will reveal to us. And when it reveals to us, that will be the highest happiness we will get. Trust me. Hare Krishna. I also told, when during my first initiation, Namanishta Prabhu, I just like to share this experience with 2 minutes, if you don't mind. Told me, what name would you like to have? I told, never mind, Prabhu. And my never mind, many of them said never mind, because they had genuinely, they did not mind whether it's from Chaitanya Leela or from Krishna Leela. So Prabhu said, why you are telling never mind? Why don't you tell? I told Prabhu, I want Krishna Das, Krishna name in my name. I will never get that, right? You can never become Krishna Das, right? Because only Prabhus will get. So any name comes, that does not matter to me. Okay. Prabhu said, you never know. Krishna will give you a name which will stun you. And my reply to Prabhu, Namanishta Prabhu, no name will stun you. Only name I want is Krishna. If it is not coming in my name, doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter. I think with that only he told me you should take initiation immediately, though in one of the conversations. And the name when Jayapatuka Guru Maharaj said, Rasarangni Radhika Devi Dasi, I never understood the meaning. Honestly, I barely heard it also at the time. But I heard Namanishta Prabhu's voice. Asarangini Radhika Devi Dasi. I still have the recording with so much of excitement. And that sort of made me feel, why Prabhu is so excited? And immediately after that, you have to, I never even told Prabhu anything. I never told Guru Maharaj anything. Earlier and all, we used to tell, but this time, this name was fully selected. So I felt like I wanted to be excited, but I didn't understand. So I was short of telling, so what? Why are you so excited? And Varaha Prabhu is telling, Rasarangini Radhika Devi Dasi. I still remember the next day, I think our Bakthi Vaibhav Shastri certificates were given and some doubts I was collecting. And everybody started calling me Rasarangini Radhika Devi. I was wondering why normally Mataji only they will call, but why they were so fully trying to tell. Later, Varaha Prabhu explained to me, and now Mr. Prabhu also explained to me very clearly what it meant. And that time I understood this name is one of the best names, and that's the best. I felt like that. I'm not still support. All names are great, but that satisfaction I got, and I'm taking that moment to share this with Reena Mataji, because Reena Mataji at that moment, whatever I told, right, no name will make me that excited. I was more excited when I received the name Rasarangini Radhika Devi Dasi. Because that time he explained the glory of that name, right? Serving Krishna, every rasa, every variety, every mellow, even not just the 5, not just the 7 rasas. It has more subtler forms, subtler feelings, subtler emotion. That's the highest which Krishna will enjoy. And you got the name which will fulfill Krishna at the topmost. Made me feel even Krishna Dasi would have not given me so much of happiness as this name gave. So sometimes you may not get what you want, but what you get will definitely be more satisfying. And I wish and pray that you get the best. Reena Mataji, Hare Krishna. I hope I'm able to add a little bit of satisfaction to your question.
Hari Bol, Mataji. So
So
thank you so
Mataji, when
much
we
for
go to Goloka, I will ask you.
yes, Mataji, sure.
Right?
Mataji,
That time you will tell me. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so what I understood from your explanation is, so if somebody have the feeling of Madhurya Rasa, they can serve the Krishna in all the 5 rasas. But if it is Vatsalya, it will be Vatsalya plus lower 3 rasas. That's what I could understand, Mataji.
Yes, you're right.
Param may be 1, but serving will be in below that particular rasa.
Yes.
Yes, Mataji. But if we have the feeling of having all the 5 rasas, is it rasa bhava? You told no, Mataji. Rasa bhasa.
Mixed. Rasa bhasha. Rasa bhasha.
Rasa bhasa. Is it so, Mataji?
Yes.
One should have
If
the
you,
feeling.
yes.
Tell me, Mataji.
If you are, it will come under Rasa Bhasha. You will have the details of this in Nectar of Devotion, where if you are having non-proper rasas mixture, like Adbhuta, you can mix. Laughter can come along with gopis also, with Sakya Bhav, with Vatsalya Bhav, right? But if you're having 2 different rasa mixture, which is not conjugal, for example, there is this, I'm just giving an example of the Brahminical, the Brahmas, the Brahmins' wives, right? The Brahmins' wives came with the Vatsalya Bhav, but some of them had a little bit of mixture of Madhurya also. That becomes Rasa Bhas. Thanks. Right? Hare Krishna. So that becomes Rasa Bhas. Right? If you have 2 contradictory rasas, that happens normally at the initial stage of bhakti. When you are at the initial stage of bhakti, we will have this rasa also, we will have that rasa also, we will have like how we are telling, right? We want to serve him as a servitor also, we want to be friend also, we want to be lover also, we want to be wife also. But remember one thing, Buddha we saw, Sankaracharya, both are one. They talk about merging and all that. Though Sankaracharya believed and said, Krishna is the highest. That's what he says, right? He says in his Gita Mahatmyam, he very clearly says that Krishna is the topmost. He establishes Krishna and he says Bhagavad Gita, Eke Shastram Deviki Putra Eva, Eke Mantra Deviki Putra, Mantra Eke, everything he says. Eke Putra Deviki Putra, that is only the Eke Mantra. What is only Eke Shastram Deviki Putra Gita, Eke Mantra. Hatsa Namani Yani, Eke, that is Harinam is the topmost. Everything he establishes. That is why he does not talk anything against Srimad Bhagavatam. He does not even create a commentary because he knows it will not be appropriate. But his devotees did not know. So they spoke about oneness and all that. Imagine Sankaracharya is Shiva's incarnation. He won't go wrong. If you take the next level, that is, if you're talking Ramanuja, perfect, Vasishtha, Advaita. They spoke about 2, but they were speaking largely about 2 people. God is God. We are only here. We can never be close to him. We can only be servitor. Though some of the acharyas in Ramanuja Sampradaya also spoke about Madhurya Bhav, but they never spoke loudly. It was very subtle. But most of them were talking about dasa. They never said we can become one, but only, even in our own Sampradaya, up to Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri only brought in this love. And prior to that also it existed, but they never spoke loud because people won't understand. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu clearly brought in Achinda Veda Abheda philosophy. We are oneness in quality, not quantity. We can get the nature and we can serve in Madhurya Ras. That is the highest gift which our acharyas have given us. Very, very clearly, only from Goswamis, very clearly, we can serve in Madhurya. We have, but not today. Today, if we become, we'll become Sahajya. We will dress like that. Even many of the Rasa passes will come like that, right? Like Gaura Nagari. Some of those who are into serving Chaitanya also call themselves Gaura Nagari. Boys also dress like girl. Love for Gauranga never existed. Krishna came as Maha, that is Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to tell how you can serve the Lord. You can't fall for Krishna. In the form, you can fall for Krishna, but not in the Madhurya form in Chaitanya Rupa. Chaitanya only taught servitor. That is something we have to follow. So why I'm bringing all this is to give you all clarity that right now we will be in Madhurya form only. Right? But even though our Rupa can be Madhurya, our Swarupa is that, but currently we cannot serve like that. We can serve only in Dasya Bhava. Irrespective of whether we are Sakya Bhav, Shanta Bhav, we will not do largely. Sakya Bhav, Vatsalya Bhav, or Madhurya Bhav, currently we will do only Dasya Bhav. Right? And that too Dasya, Dasanu, Dasa. We will only serve in the Servitor Bhava, that too the Sevas, Dasas. The servant of the Lord is only close. So right now, don't worry too much of Bhav. We will serve. Automatically, we will get a Bhava which is already pre-designated. We are not going to have a new designated Bhava. Whatever Bhava we are going to be serving now, though our line, our lineage, our parampara talks about giving us the highest Bhava, which is Madhurya Rasa, we will all hope we will serve. But right now, we will focus only on service. I hope I'm giving you close. When we go to Goloka Vrindavan, I'll ask you this question. Satisfied, Mataji?
Hari Bol, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Mataji.
Thank you so much. But when we go to Goloka, I'll ask you this question.
Very, very fortunate to get this name, Mataji, Rasarangini. Today only like we could understand the meaning of that Rasarangini. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Just to relate, I just told Hare Krishna. Attendance already posted. Hare Krishna. Any other questions? Sorry, I had to step in 11 minutes. Thank you so much for sharing. Thanks so much for becoming very active. Next time, keep your videos on from the beginning. If I get a chance again in this Bhakti Vaibhav class, otherwise Bhakti Vaibhav fast track, I will go on as
Hare Krishna, Mataji. If you don't mind, just I want to know the difference between Dvaita and Advaita, Mataji. Sorry, Vishishta Advaita, Mataji. Dvaita and Vishishta Advaita.
Hare Krishna. 1 second, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay, 1 minute. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhurya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah ananta koti Vaishnav Vijay Srila Prabhupada Vijay Namacharya Haridas Thakur Vijay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Yes, all those who want to leave can leave. All those who want to stay, the class is effectively over now. Hare Krishna. Now, Mataji, we are talking about 4 levels, right? Buddha. Then we are talking about Sankaracharya, which you know, oneness. Then we are talking about Ramanujacharya, and then we are talking about Madhava. That is our Sampradaya. Brahma Gaudiya Madhava Sampradaya will not touch now, but I'm just talking about all of them from Ramanuja Sampradaya spoke about 2. Dvaita, which is 2. Right? So the moment, yes, we are talking about 2. Right? In that Dvaita, what the Dvaita itself talks about completely servitorship. Right? And also higher levels of devotion.